my YouTube channel. My name is Ann, and this is Postcards from My Golden Years. I am so happy to see you today. We've got so much to talk about, don't we? We hope, right? We don't want to run out of things to talk about, and I'm sure we're never going to get to that point. So before we get started, I wanted to take a moment to welcome our very first Patreon supporter, Erin. Erin, thank you. I know I sent you a welcome video from my husband, Jeff, our little dog, Bella, and I, but I wanted to say it again in this video. So thank you for having faith in us and deciding to support our YouTube channel. We hope that we won't disappoint you. And if you're not currently familiar with Patreon, Patreon is a place for people who are involved in the creative realm. We go there and we open up our channel to patrons who would like to support us. And there are varying levels of support that come with being a Patreon supporter. And you could just go to patreon.com and search for our channel. I'll put the address below in the details under the video. And you're certainly welcome to become a supporter as well. We're just starting out, and I have to tell you, I set up the Patreon account months ago, maybe even over a year ago, and it just sat there. And I actually forgot that I had it, and then all of a sudden we got an email this morning, and it was our very first Patreon supporter. So again, thank you to Erin, and if you're interested in supporting our channel with a small donation, anything from $5 on up, we would be most appreciative of that. More so once we're over there across the ocean living on our Social Security. Patreon won't give us tons of money to live on, but it's nice to know that we have supporters who help defray the cost of my editing software and other subscriptions that I use to present the content that I do present to you. So let's get on with the video. Enough of that. So in my last video, I was talking about reciprocal agreement as far as taxation between France and the United States. And there was one issue that came up, and it had to do with someone who is currently an expat over in France who hasn't completed the whole process with her visa. She went over there, she got the visa, she validated it, and you have to make various appointments for your doctor's visit and x-ray and all of that kind of stuff. And she thought that until she finished doing all of that, she couldn't be considered a tax resident. So I researched it a little bit further just to make sure. And everything that I have found says that as soon as you go over there to live, and it is your primary home, and once you get past that 183 days of residence, it doesn't matter what your visa status is, you are required legally to declare your income. Even if you have zero income, you still have to file the declaration, and you can be hit with a penalty if you don't. So anyway, just wanted to throw that out there in case there are any other people in that same situation thinking that you have to complete the entire visa process and maybe even have a residence card. One thing has nothing to do with the other. So once you're there 183 days in that next tax year, when it's time to file, you have to record or declare the income that you made during that period from the date you arrived until the date you left, if you left, or the end of the year. Their tax calendar year is just like the United States, from January to December. So again, when we get over to France, we're moving there in April. That is right during the tax time, so we won't have to file France tax return in 2024. However, in 2025, we will have stayed at least 183 days. It will be our primary residence. And so we will have to file a tax return declaring the income that we had between April when we arrived and December, the end of the tax year. So, and hopefully we won't get hit very hard, but we'll see. Anyway, so today's topic I wanted to talk about is dental care. I'm always looking for a good topic to talk about on this channel for those of us that are moving over to France. And I'm pretty hooked up with a lot of different forums and companies, I guess institutions, they're probably connected with businesses that email me once in a while and they tell me about what's going on in France. And recently I got one talking about the law in France has been changed, and now there is a change in the rates for dental care. And so I looked at the rates and truthfully I was fascinated, because if you're here in the United States and you've gone for anything more than a cleaning and x-rays, which typically most dentists either don't charge or they charge very little for here in the United States, as soon as you get past that and you need a filling or you need scaling or a root canal or teeth pulled, as soon as you get into any of that, some of us, you know, you might have to take out a loan. Years ago, I had to have 3 teeth pulled, and I was earning next to nothing. I'd just gotten on a widow's benefit from my ex-husband. And so all I was living on at that time was the widow's benefit on Social Security. And I had to get these teeth pulled. And it was going to cost me probably close to $2,000 to have these 3 teeth pulled. And I didn't have dental insurance because I couldn't afford dental insurance. And at the time I was too young for Medicare. I had health insurance, but that didn't cover any of it. So I had to come up with thousands of dollars. And then I was going to need implants. Of the 3 teeth that I had pulled, one of them was a wisdom tooth, so I wasn't going to need anything there. But the dentist suggested that I get implants, and he said that I needed to wait for the incision from the extractions to heal, and then he would take care of the implants. So I waited, and then I went there to the dentist's office, and he told me it was going to cost me $9,000. $9,000, which I didn't have, clearly. I had no clue where I would get $9,000 for implants, and the teeth were pulled in the back of my mouth. So I just started looking in the mirror like, well, can you see it? Can you really see where the teeth are missing? And I decided that I'm never going to smile really, really wide so that people can see where the 2 teeth are missing. I had gone to another dentist to have, what did I go there to have? I just went to the other dentist for another opinion. And he told me that my sinuses had come down while I waited. It had gone, I guess it was about maybe 2 years later that I decided, well, you know what? Why don't I talk to another dentist and see how much he wants for the implants? So I went to him and he said, yeah, I can do the implants, but first you're going to need surgery on your sinuses because now your sinuses have dropped. And we can't do the implants till your sinuses are raised. And I thought, oh my gosh, this is like snowballing. And I simply decided, I can't afford this. Forget it. The heck with it. And so that's it. And there have been many other dental things that I had put off simply because dental care in the United States is just so expensive. Even in the past, if I had to have scaling on my gums, I would have to ask the dentist to break it apart, because even when I had dental insurance, it was still going to cost me $400 or $500 for each quadrant of my mouth. And I'd still have to come up with extra money out of the air. So a lot of dental things I just simply put off and didn't go. The only things that I have had done are, periodic checkups, and probably not enough, because I'm always afraid the dentist is going to find some other expensive thing that I don't want to spend the money on. Or I think I had to have a crown put in, and I had to do it. So, I paid whatever that cost. My insurance covered a good bit of it, and we simply paid off the rest of it. But it's just, I'm sure a lot of you have experienced the same thing with dental costs here in the United States. So for those of us that are moving to France, the good news is that the cost of being on the France health system is really going to be nothing to us, or so it appears. It's based on your income level. So if our only income is Social Security, they don't count Social Security or pensions towards income. Therefore, the cost to us will be zero to be on the French National Health System. And we're required to get on that system. We need to apply in around 90 days after we arrive in France with our long stay visa. So in addition to being on the French health system, if we want to, we can also purchase what's called a mutuelle, or a top-up plan. And it would be equivalent to, let's say you're on Medicare now and you buy a supplemental plan, or in our case, we have a supplement through Aetna and we pay zero for it, but we get all this additional coverage that Medicare didn't cover because we're on that supplement. Well, in France, you can purchase a mutuelle plan that pretty much does the same thing. It picks up copays so that your medical costs are pretty much zero. And at last I checked, it was somewhere between 200 and 300 a month euros, I think for both my husband and I combined, which is not a lot of money. However, even if we don't take that, health coverage in France, our out-of-pocket expenses will be so low, particularly once we get on the health plan. So let's see. So the email that I received says that the government just published in June new lower reimbursement rates for dental care. So at the time that I am making this video, the reimbursement costs on dental costs are currently in France, 70% of the cost is reimbursed by the health system. Starting October 1st, that's going to reduce down to 60%. Let's see. And the government estimates that that's going to save the public purse, I guess the government, an estimated 500 million euros a year. So, and they're hoping that that'll be picked up by the top-up or mutuelle plans. So the health insurers are saying that premiums are going to have to rise, cover the lower level of reimbursement by the state. But before you get all worried about the difference being, well, now they're not going to reimburse 60, or they're not going to reimburse 70%, they're only going to reimburse 60%. Let me tell you where we're starting on this. Because if you're in the U.S., you will think 50, 60, 70, whatever it is, oh my God, this is unheard of. You would never get dental care for this price in the United States. Okay, scale and polish. That cost, this is the official charge in France, 28 euros 92. Currently, the health system is reimbursing 20 euros 24, and when it goes down to 60%, they'll be reimbursing 17 euros 35. So if you take the 17 euros 35 from the 28, scaling and polishing your teeth, that is 11 euros and 57 cents. 11 euros! When did you ever go to the dentist in the United States for scaling and polishing of your teeth and spend let's call it $12, $13 US? When did you ever go to the dentist and get out of there for that? Okay, first stage cavity. The official charge for that in France is 26 euros 97. Currently, they're reimbursing 18 euros 88, and that will go down to 16 euros 18. So, a first stage cavity will cost you 10 euros 79. 10 euros, that's like what, $11, $12 US for a cavity. Second stage cavity, so this is going to be a little bad. Not the worst though. Okay, we're starting at 45, 38, and it's going to go down to 27, 23 reimbursement. $18, a second stage cavity. I'm sorry, 18 euros. It's going to cost 18 euros for a second stage cavity taken care of. The worst, third stage cavity. $60.95 is the official charge, what dentists are allowed to charge. Hang on, that's how much the government will reimburse, $36.57. So an advanced stage, worst stage cavity will cost you 24 euros 38. That's what you will have to pay out of your pocket if you don't have a mutual plan. Okay, let's see. I'm not going to look at every single price here. So an extraction of a permanent tooth. So the official cost for that is $33.44. The reimbursement for that is going to be $20.06. An extraction is going to cost 13 euros 38. Again, I paid, well, it cost me around $2,000, $2,500 to have 3 teeth extracted. This is like 13 euros 38. That's what, 15 bucks to have 1 tooth extracted? This is absolutely unbelievable. Even if we don't have a top-up plan, I can't wait until these are the dental costs, because even though I hate going to the dentist, it will be a pleasure to go to the dentist. I won't be afraid of getting sticker shock when they say, oh my God, you're going to need root canal. Oh, let me see what root canal is here. Well, I'm not sure which of these is root canal. We have root treatment incisor/canine, root treatment premolaire, or root treatment molaire. Maybe that depends on which teeth they are. But they're between $33.74 and $81.94 is the official charge for those. And then 60% of that will be reimbursed. So you're still talking peanuts compared to what we pay here in the United States. This is crazy, isn't it? I mean, crazy here in the United States. But for those of us that are moving over to France, this is fabulous. I mean, we're going over there. I mean, my husband will no longer be working, so our income will be dramatically decreased because we'll simply be living on our Social Security. So, I mean, this is a welcome change because, you know, years ago, before I met my husband, I was a single woman. I was basically broke, struggling to keep a roof over my head. The last thing in the world I was going to do was, you know, put out thousands of dollars, and somehow, you know, I made it happen. I was working part-time for AARP, taking inbound calls from my home, and people were screaming at me, and I was making, you know, minimal wage, if that. Well, no, it was minimal wage. But I mean, just have my teeth pulled. That was a big chunk out of my income. So the last thing I would do is go to the dentist unless I was like deathly in pain. And I think that there are a lot of us here in the United States that stay away from dentists simply because of the cost. It's expensive, and as a result, we don't put a priority on our dental care. When we move to France, we're going to look at it a whole lot differently. And since our income is going to be scaled back quite a bit, this is a breath of fresh air. Now, this came from, the newsletter is called France Insider. So they send me emails from time to time on things that are going on in France. And this was just eye-opening. And so I thought that I would make that the topic of this video. So, if you're living in France and you're watching this video, are you really experiencing dental care at rates like this? I'm talking about the official charges with or without a mutual or top-up plan. I mean, is it really this inexpensive to go to the dentist? I know it's inexpensive to go to the doctor. I think I've heard from some people that if you go to the doctor, even if you're not even on the health system yet, it's $35 for a visit, and then you can save your receipts, and when you get on the health system, you can turn them in for reimbursement and have, I think it's something like 70% of the $35 you paid reimbursed by the health system. I mean, 70% of a $35 doctor's office fee. Just the cost of medical care here in the United States is just unbelievable. Cost of prescription drugs, cost of dental care, which is, what I wanted to share with you today. I'd really be interested to find out if, in fact, any of you are really experiencing that. Is it easy to find a dentist in France? For those of you that are already living there, have you gone to a dentist, not necessarily in an urgent situation, but just as a matter of, it's time for a checkup? Is it easy to find a dentist? You have to wait a long time for an appointment. I mean, I'm one of those people here in the United States. I'll go to the dentist to have my teeth checked, like, for x-rays and a cleaning. And if they say to me, oh, we don't have anything for the next 3 or 4 months, for me, that's fine. That's not soon enough, or that is not long enough away. I'll wait any amount of time, because I know that if I go there, 9 times out of 10, the dentist is going to find something else that's going to cost me a lot of money. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you today. For those of you that are getting ready for your move to France in the near future, like we are, it's this many more days, but who's counting? We can't wait. So anyway, thank you so much for watching this little video today. If you're not a subscriber, please click below. There's a little subscribe button right below this video. Click on that. And if you click on the little bell to the subscribe icon, YouTube will notify you when I upload a new video. So thanks again for watching. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you found this interesting, and that way YouTube will know, hey, that wasn't a bad video, or that was a good video. We'll show it to more people, and I would really appreciate that, because it really does help my channel grow. So I will be looking for more topics to talk to you about as far as becoming an expat in France, because for us, the time is getting shorter and shorter till we get to live the dream. I will see you next time. Bye for now.